so other speakers can come to speak. Go ahead, Blue Sky, and then it'll go to you, EJ.
Thank you, sister. I appreciate the great space. I can speak on behalf of Somali American community. I'm Somali American. I grew up here. I came here as a kid with my parents. I also know about African American culture. I went to HBCU. I'm a Boston Howard University. So anyway, to get to the point, I see a lot of disinformation going on here. The guy you're talking about earlier, Black Panther, that need to be cautious. We need to investigate it because it could be either way. It could be psyop by the feds trying to find an excuse to go to the city who's all their own agenda. So that's another way, the way people put it in. So we don't know who's sponsoring him. So somebody needs to dig more about that guy, where he's coming from, because we don't know exactly his motivations.
I'm sorry to cut you off, Blue Sky. So when you say we, what do you mean we don't know the motivations? Because really, Hernandez P. Newton is trying to get Black Americans out there in the street for illegal. So when you say we don't know, who are you talking about?
What I say I'm talking about people in this space. Personally, I don't know. I'm just talking about generally. We don't know exactly his motivation. I don't know. I'm just talking about general.
We do. We're expert at this, so we know.
That's fine. But personally, I don't know. But that's what I didn't mean that way. But that's what I mean. Basically, I don't know. I need to find out more about it. So it's really, I cannot make determinations. So I have to do some research, find out exactly who's responsible.
And then when you do your research, how is it going to benefit you? Because that's what I'm trying to figure out. How is it benefiting or hurting you by knowing who he is? We know what he's doing and how it hurts us, but how is it benefiting or hurting you?
I don't know. I'm just let you know exactly. The feds use all kind of tricks going after certain people. They're trying to find.
Let me ask you this. I'm going to let you get to it in a minute, but you got some questions you need to answer when you grace our stage, our beautiful foundational Black American certified stage. You said you're Somali American. What is your opinion and your views on the situation that's going on right now in Minneapolis, Minnesota? What's your position on the mass deportations, on ICE, on some of the violence that has occurred? I want to know your position. We'll get to Hernandez P. Newton in a minute because he's running around here using Black American legends. So that's our business to handle, not yours. So we don't really need your input on that. We want to know how you feel about mass deportations and about all this crazy scamming that's going on in Minneapolis. That's my question to you.
Good question.
Now that should be your business. No. You're not going to ask a question with a question. Now that's what should be your business. So how do you feel? Please answer. How do you feel about what's going on in Somaliland in Minnesota with all the fraud and everything?
See, that's the white talking point, and that's talking point.
See?
No, that ain't no white talking point because that came from a certified foundational Black American brother and sister. Nice try. And basically that answer right there means you down with the scamming and the fraud right there. You already gave us an answer there. Are you cool with Are you Mar's brother? Okay, or Omar or Humar? Are you her brother? Did y'all get married? I got some real serious questions. Are you Ihan Omar's brother? And did you marrying her allow her to get into this country? Because it don't sound like you're against fraud and against scamming. It sounds like you're absolutely positively okay with it. So I got some serious questions with you. Don't tell us about anything white because we've been the ones over here handling white supremacy for eons when you were still back in your failed homeland. So let's get that straight. Don't come over here critiquing no Black Americans about the system of white supremacy, a system in which we fought, which allowed you to come over here. So you already came in here disrespecting the teachers. And you need to do what a student does and sit down and listen. And you need to answer these questions without trying to tick for tack or flip flop. What is your position on the scamming and the fraud and the deportations going on right now in Minneapolis, Minnesota? That is my question. I want you to answer that directly, sir.
If you don't interrupt me.
Don't worry about if I interrupt you or not. Just speak.
Let me tell you something. The biggest fraud in this American community by white people. You understand?
He's for the fraud. He's for the fraud, just like the rest of them. And this is why I tell y'all, we will not be standing up and speaking up for these people. at all of them for the fraud. You don't never hear any of them speak out against it. I don't care what fake love stories, what balloon light bulb head stories, posts they put on here. It's not all of us. You haven't heard now one of them speak against that fraud that's going on, but they want to be over here. They want to be over here in this government, in this fascist, tyrannical government. They fighting and screaming and scratching not to go back to their countries. But the first thing that he do instead of answering the question is go back to the fraud in this country. This is our country. Y'all came over here stealing and frauding. He asked you a question. What do you feel about the fraud going on in Minnesota? Not what's going on in this country. Because y'all scratching and screaming to stay in this country. We don't want to hear that. What do you feel about, we're going to ask you one last time and we're going to get rid of your ass. What do you feel about the fraud going on in Somaliland and Minnesota? Go.
A bunch of
You can't even say that without a list. Be quiet. Listen, I want y'all to notice how this man said that the frauding in America is about white people. Then why did you immigrate to a country with a bunch of white people? Sounds like them white people are the right people for you. Family, this is another immigrant, about number 3047, that comes to America and says that they have such a problem with white folks, but yet they immigrate to a country full of white folks. Sounds like you like them white folks more than you want to lead on. Okay? You don't go to the belly of the beast to get away from the beast. All right? If somebody is so bad in America, then why'd you flee here? We call these people out all the time. And we say it without that dusty ass balloon head lisp that you just had when you said it. Okay, we speak clearly. We enunciate. We don't say is the term that we came up with. So you over here trying to use our terms to identify people just like yourself. You are Omar's brother. Okay, and what it really is that you're here to try to run interference on us so we don't turn you in to the authorities in the Department of Homeland Security so they can send you back with all that ancestral behavior you guys have over there. All right, so let's just keep it real. You support scamming and frauding in America, and when black Americans call you out on it, you want to point the finger. I want everybody here to notice he ain't got a problem with no white people. He loves white people. That's why he came to a country that's full of a bunch of people so he could be next to him. What he's trying to do is get underneath our skin by telling us the white man did it, the white man did it, the white man did it, so we can drum up some support and then go help the Somali man. We don't care what you feel about the man. We don't care what you feel about frauding. We don't care what you feel about scamming. What we know for a fact is that all of that is your problem. It ain't got nothing to do with us. You're not going to use our fighting and resistance against white supremacy to put on the cape for your Somali fraudsters. That's a backdoor, back avenue way that will not happen. Oh, you ain't heard? Then this delineation era, all the damn gates are closed. So let me ask you this again, because you still ain't answered the question. This is pretty normal for tethers like you. Why are you okay with the frauding and scamming that is going on in your community? Remember, men lie, women lie, numbers do not. And you can come up with whatever excuse you have, but the numbers are telling us that there has been billions of dollars of frauding that has went on in your community from your people. So tell me why you don't have a problem with it. And did you come to my country to scam off of my country? Did you come to the country that my ancestors created so you can try to steal? How come you don't steal from your homeland or from your mother continent? Africa's got a lot of places you can steal from. Why'd you want to steal over here from America? Oh, because you wanted to come over here and be next to white people. And you thought you can get a little crumbs in the process and you'd be a happy little Somalian. Right. So tell us, do you feel that way? And how do you feel about the scamming? The floor is yours.
If we can have an intelligent conversation and we don't interrupt each other, I really appreciate it.
Nah, well, you done called us a up in here. Nah. You don't get to say have an intelligent conversation now after you done called us names, all because we asked you a question.
Because
Answer
we
the
already
question.
made a conclusion without evidence.
But that means
all right,
call us a name?
listen. Quit complaining about what we saying and answer the question.
The question is, all your sources...
No. The question is what I said it is. You give me the answer to it. You don't even know the difference between the question and the answer. Go ahead.
Listen, you came here a slave, okay? I came here myself.
No, we came here as the originators who built this whole country that you fled to. What you have is the foundational black Americans are better than me disorder. That's a disorder that a lot of people in your community have. You're upset that we didn't have to run, hop, flee, jump, skip, or any of those things to get to this country, but you had to. And now you're upset that you've been running around here this whole time wanting to be next to white people and found out white people don't like you. And see, now they got something called handcuffs. Okay, and handcuffs put your ashy wrists that need a whole lot of lotion. Your ashy ass wrists get put in them handcuffs, and you get put in a white band that matches the ash on your damn ankles. And then now you got to go on back home to your homeland. That's what it is. And you're mad that whatever you say doesn't really matter to us. So what you're doing is just screaming up, and nobody's looking or listening to you because we don't look down, you bow down. So, Mr. Somali, man, I know you're mad. I know you're upset, but that's not going to change your situation. You're still going to have to deal with Tom Homan. You're still going to have to deal with ICE, and you're still going to have to deal with the Donald Trump administration. And you know what? A lot of black Americans, we might just call ICE on you personally so we can get all of your rhetoric the hell out of here. You're not a nice Somali. You're not a nice anti-American. You're a very anti-American person. And we don't really sit well with anti-Americans because we are the 100% certified foundational black Americans. And you are a 100% certified airhead who's going to end up getting 100% certified deported from the country that we built. That doesn't feel too good. And I understand that doesn't feel too good, but guess what? That's not my reality because I am non-deportable. So when you're sitting here talking about you came to this country as this, but here's the thing. We came to this country as the first people in this country, and we will be the last people in this country. But you will be the first person who comes in these spaces and tells us about your deportation story. Sir, I'm offering you an opportunity to come on the Black Alpha Network and to tell all of us beautiful foundational black Americans how your deportation went. Are you willing to accept that, Omar's brother? Are you willing to accept that? You have an open invitation from a black American to have you come on. You can tell us what the Billy Club feels like. You can tell us what handcuffs feel like. You can tell us what it's like to be humiliated. You can tell us what it's like to marry your sister. I'm sure you got great stories about that. You can tell us a great story about how your cousin is really your dad and your mom is really your auntie, because we know about the behavior that you have going on over in your homeland. And I know you're fuming right now and you're very upset. And I'd be upset too if nothing I say matters because the person I'm upset with is, quite frankly, just notches above me. So you have an open invitation to come tell us about your deportation process and how Tom Homan found you, and he found all that money, and all that money stayed in America, and your ass left America. Are you willing to accept my open invitation, Omar's brother?
Stop having tether tantrums, big old balloon head. Go ahead, Blue Sky.
All you're talking about is just black nasty talking point. You got all this KKK talking
So
points.
why are you in our space though? But you have to come up underneath us. Y'all are so pathetic. Why are you here? If that's all we do, why are you here? Come off of your you're not muted. Come up off of your speaker. Why are you here? We're talking about black issues, not tether issues, not bushmeat issues. Why are you here? Why are you here? Because you're wasting our time. You're a disruptor.
I'm trying to educate you.
You can't educate us. Nothing.
You're a bunch of
Nobody wants to be educated on sleeping with their sister. Okay, that's the only thing you could educate anybody on. Okay, or how to be a loser and get deported. Sir, this is God's plan. It's not what I came up with, okay? It wasn't like this before, but it's like this now. You have to deal with the fact that you've been highlighted, focused on, spotlighted, and your people are going home. And I know that's a very, very hard bushmeat pill to swallow, but I'm sure you're used to swallowing a hell of a lot. So this is just normal for you. So you have to understand that you can't teach a foundational black American anything other than running. And then when you run, you still get caught any damn way. So you tell Renee Good, we said what's good. And you tell all the W's that you want to be next to that you wish that they would accept you, but they won't. And then you tell Tom Homan that Black Alpha said hello because I'm the one who called Tom Homan on you, fam. I called Tom Homan on this guy. I have to be honest with everyone. I'm the one who called Tom Homan on this guy. I spoke to Tom Homan. I said, Tom Homan, there's going to be this big balloon head who's going to come into a space and he's going to say a bunch of gibberish. And I want you to get this guy the hell out of here. And Tom Homan said, no problem. He said, unlawful entry. These people will be out of here. I said, well, he unlawfully entered a foundational black American space, got his ass roasted. So please send him back to the nearest place that you can find. So you'll see this guy in Rwanda. You might see this guy in Uganda. You might see this guy in Somalia. But I tell you where you will not see this guy is in America, because Americans don't play that. So take all of your scamming and your frauding, all your whining and your complaining, and realize that this is a new era in time where your bullshit don't work, and tell your sister wife we said hello.